Hey everyone, Jack here, Talk Norwich City. Welcome back to another video. Thursday, the 7th of March. The dust has settled from what was a truly disastrous evening at the Riverside. I hope for those of you that went, you had a safe trip back. I hope for those of you that watched it on the telly, you have tried to heal from just what was a really poor evening and an evening that started so well. Norwich took the lead, a very scrappy goal from Ashley Barnes. But for that first half an hour, I thought we were excellent. I thought we controlled the game. We orchestrated the tempo beautifully. It was all Norwich, and it was, up until that point, the perfect away performance. We were taking the game to them. We were really peppering their goal mouth. The movement, particularly in the forward areas, looked really positive. We had Yanulis and Stacey really high up the pitch, but they were recovering well. It was a fantastic start, and we got the goal. Chris and I on the watch along, and we were being serious. We're kind of saying, well, this could be, 3-4-0. I genuinely think it could have been. And then the moment that caused the controversy came. Borja Sainz's red card. Now, we were obviously doing the watch along. We were watching the game, but it was on mute, so we had no context around what was going on. We were kind of watching the screen and watching the comments, and we saw the tackle, and we saw the referee pull for a card, and we both assumed it would be a booking for Johnny Howson. It was a 50-50 challenge. It was a bit of meat on the bone. They happen in championship games. It didn't look anything malicious from either parties. It's one of those you see 10 times a game in most championship games, and the game continues. Maybe a booking here and there, but it's nothing to write home about. There was something to write home about, though, and quite a sinister thing to write home about for Norwich City's sake. Borja Sainz was sent off for what could only be described... Well, the referee saw a kick-out on Johnny Howson. Howson made a meal of it. And, I don't think these things are... Well, I guess for a lot of people, they are black and white. That you've got people who thought it was a sending off, and you've got people that think it wasn't a sending off. For me... it wasn't. I thought the tackle actually, if you see the pictures kind of back, it's Howson that's probably the more aggressive of the two. So there's nothing, if neither player should be sent off for the tackle, and look, they weren't. But out of the two, I think Howson's probably the more dangerous. And then Sainz gets sent off for the aftermath, I guess. Now, was it violent conduct? No, it certainly wasn't. Many will say that, well, Borja Sainz shouldn't have left a foot flailing. And I've watched it back multiple times. And yes, there's a foot kind of that remains in the air. And some will say, well, he gave the referee a decision to make. I mean, it's a bit harsh if we're blaming Borja for that. I guess Borja comes with a previous. He was sent off against West Brom, again in a really big game on Boxing Day. It was a silly sending off there. It's another silly sending off here. It is annoying and it is really frustrating, and you've just got to hope that Borja learns from this. But I'm classing it in the poor refereeing decision. I think Howson really dupes him into making a call. Football is played in split seconds. Borja didn't kick out. There was no kick out. There was no real movement towards Johnny Howson. Yes, there was a foot left in the air. I'm not going to get on Borja's back for that. I think it was a poor refereeing decision. But, actually, I think the decision isn't the worst bit about all of this. Now, Norwich have appealed the decision, and that needs to be overturned. Otherwise, we face 4 games without Sainz, and his first game back for Norwich would be Ipswich at home on the 6th of April. He would miss Rotherham, Stoke, Plymouth and Leicester. 4 games because he's already been sent off once this season. So a really pivotal run of fixtures. We're already without Hernandez and Rowe. That's another winger out. We will probably be playing against Rotherham, if this isn't overturned, with Fasnacht and Liam Gibbs on the wing, possibly Finlay Welch. So, you've gone from having Sainz and Rowe to Fasnacht and Gibbs. That is not a step in the right direction. I suspect Wagner will be fuming, not only with the officials but probably Borja Sainz as well. But it was the response that disappointed me most. Look, we've played against 10 men this season. I remember Blackburn at home when they beat us. They went down to 10 men relatively early in the game. Granted, it was in the second half, but they didn't crumble like we did. It was in game. They had to pivot and change, and we did none of that. The sending off doesn't excuse the complete shambles of a defending performance we saw from that point onwards. It was a huge swing. And yes, of course, losing a player will make a difference. I'm not thick. Some of you probably think I am. But it shouldn't have made as much of a difference as it did. And that is the worry for Norwich. It was a good opportunity against Middlesbrough. We would have gone into the top 6 with a win. We still could go into the top 6 with a win on Saturday, and we should be beating Rotherham. Should is the key word there. But it feels so often this season we've been gifted opportunities, or we've had moments in games to take it by the scruff of the neck and really kick on and put together a statement win. And it feels like the big moments we just haven't taken, and that is a concern. And look, getting into the top 6 is the first step. If you want promotion to the Premier League, you then need to get through a 2-legged semi-final against an opponent of good quality, and then a final at Wembley. And I look at this setup, and I don't think we're good enough. We haven't done it on a consistent enough basis against decent quality. As soon as we're kind of really put up against it and tested and need to pivot in game, time and time again we get undone. And it feels similar to last season, where we'd get within touching distance of the playoffs, and then usually away from home we throw it in some strange capacity. It's happened so many times this season away from home, where you go, okay, a win here and we're either in the top 6 or we're level on points or something, and we lose. And that is incredibly frustrating. And I think that was a really important game. We've had a decent set of fixtures, and to be fair, over the past, ever since the turn of the year really, we've been good. And we've put together a run of form, and that has got us into a position where we can, get into the top 6. We've got 3 more winnable games: Rotherham at home, Stoke away, Plymouth at home. That takes us into April. We have to win those 3, because it gets a lot tougher then. Leicester away, Ipswich at home, then it's Sheffield Wednesday away, Preston away. Those 4 fixtures feel somewhat tougher. Some would say, Sheffield Wednesday and Preston, we should be getting wins. I'm not so sure. Having looking at our away form, Leicester away and Ipswich at home are mightily difficult. So I think for any chance now of top 6, we have to win the next 3. Not draw, win the next 3. Stoke away is just screaming banana skin to me. Stoke are struggling, but just away from home, I've got no confidence. And it's really strange, because at home, again, in 2024, I feel invincible. I think Norwich look great, and we've picked off some really good teams. Away from home, it's a different story. It is that in-game management that I think we still struggle with, whether it's substitutions, whether it's a change in tactical approach, whether it's a setup thing. We don't feel up to it. So many teams will go down to 10 men and find a way to battle through it. Even if we would have come out of that with a point, I think we would have probably taken it, considering the circumstances. I don't blame Borja Sainz. He's a good player. I'm sure he will learn. There's too much talent there to just get on his back and go, I've had enough of Borja. He's a very good player. I think the referee got dragged into this one and didn't need to. Johnny Howson's experience, he knows what he's doing. All in all, just an incredibly frustrating evening for Norwich City, and I genuinely think a huge opportunity blown. It is Rotherham on Saturday. There'll be a preview video for that one. Let me know your thoughts, and do you think the appeal will work? Do you think the ban will get overturned? I've got a really bad feeling about it. I don't think he will. I don't think it will, and I think we'll be without Borja for the next few weeks. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.